real excited to be here. It's going to be fun.
You're coming off a huge victory, and I think some of the girls after the game were saying, we can play with anyone now as we go into this tournament. How important is it, especially for you as a coach, to see that mindset, like, hey, we can do it?
Exactly. Throughout the course of the season, what you're trying to do is build this trust, defensively, offensively, collectively, that, even in the peaks and the valleys of what is happening, how do they come together? How do they zoom out? How do they build that trust that we can figure this out and be solution-based rather than being problem-based? And I think the girls have really kind of figured out, how do we do that? I mean, it's natural tendency when you have doubt and uncertainty or adversity to go inward. And how do you fight that natural response? And I think our young ladies and our leaders, our senior leaders have really done a great job of zooming out and really understanding that this is a place for growth, and they've embraced that. So they're doing a nice job with that aspect.
Ruth, what is sort of your message to the team as you head into the conference tournament, knowing that you're in kind of a more unusual circumstance where most teams entering a postseason tournament are going for an NCAA tournament where obviously you have some time before that's happening. So what's your message for the team to keep them motivated in that respect?
Basketball is a finite experience no matter how far you go. There's going to be a beginning and an end. Biggest thing is just maximizing what we have. And so we get postseason. This is our big tournament. And so we are going to embrace this just like it is the NCAA tournament, because we get to be in postseason. Last year, we finished at Omaha, and the season was done. And it seemed so abrupt because we didn't get an opportunity one last time to be in a tournament atmosphere, to be at the Stanford Premier Center. And so we're really going to maximize this experience. And, we're hoping to make it a wonderful experience for our team and for our program with that.
What did your team learn about itself against North Dakota? I know I had to rally a couple of times, and mentally tough as well as having to show up. What do you think was the most important lesson?
The fun part about the season is you've seen this coming all along. We have been in close game after close game. You look at year one, there were some close games, and then there were other games that it just got away from us. Year two, how many games? 3 overtime games, last second shots. I mean, we've had 3 games at the last second shot. And so obviously the margin for error is tight right now. But I've really been excited about the way that they have embraced these learning opportunities, or, if you want to call failures, we haven't looked at it as failures, but embrace these opportunities and learn from them. And so the North Dakota was just kind of a testimony to how we have to continue to look, because you are completely right. In the middle of that third quarter, there was a little bit of uncertainty, but they came back and they rallied together. And then the fourth quarter, the same thing happened, but they rallied together. And so it's really great knowing that, hey, when things don't go our way, how do we respond? I keep telling the girls our respondability is huge. Okay. Yeah, it's not a word, but it is big for basketball right now, is how are we going to respond in these situations? And as we said, go outward. And so I think it was a testimony. It was great for the girls, especially on senior night, just to say, yes, we've got this. We did this, and we took it from all the lessons learned in the previous games.
Ruth, you guys had quite a run last decade in Division III, 3 Final Fours, and you guys really had built quite a consistent program of excellence. And then you had the abrupt change last year. 7 wins? Talk about these last 2 years and the progress you guys have made. You got a pretty young roster this year too, with 11 freshmen and sophomores.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's interesting because you build teams and you try to continue to build programs, and then the Division III era, we built that by creating some separation in our habits and how we trained and how we really just poured into maximizing our potential. Now we go to the Division I level, and same thing, we want to create that separation, but the talent level is harder, and the training is different, and the support staff is different. And so we've just really embraced all those things and trying to really understand what are those next steps so we can create those separations and we can be in a situation where we control better. And so our young ladies have really embraced that. And I've been real proud of them about understanding about this next step if we're going to continue to improve and grow. But as coaches, our number one goal is to be playing our best basketball. And I think there's a testimony to what they're doing right now for the last 5 games that we've won. It shows that things are coming together and they've kind of really embraced those habits and that training and all the support staff. And you see that they're playing good basketball right now. So we'll keep on keeping on.
What's it say about the players knowing, hey, maybe a dream at some point, for players coming in here, we can go to the dance.
Mm-hmm.
But our job right now is to help put the program on the D1 map.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make some noise in this tournament here, show what we can do. What does it say about the women that are playing now, that they can actually buy into that and know that they're doing something for the future?
You're exactly right. It shows that they are all about servant leadership. They are pioneers. And, we say this because everybody wants to go to the dance, but the reality it is, unless you go far into the dance, it's just a 1-game event. And if even that. And so, yes, that's exciting, but the reality of it is, what are you creating that's long lasting? The difference between, success and significance. These young ladies are significant. They're the ones in 5-6 years when we are doing that we're going to come back to and say, you laid the foundation here. You were the ones that bought into this, agreed to this, and really set the standards, just like I was talking about, how to train, how to attack excellence, how to do those, even if you don't have the payoff, how to continue to keep on striving for more. And so these are the young ladies that we're going to look back to and say, thank you. You're the ones that set this in motion. And everybody, when they especially get to their last year, they want to be significant and they want to have left their mark. And a lot of people go to programs that, well, you're just going to be another number with that. You won't be able to. They get to do this. They get to have an impact right away and be a part of that. So I think they've really embraced that they get to be program changers. They get that opportunity because a lot of times you don't. And so they've embraced being these trailblazers and these pioneers, and they're just really proud, to put St. Thomas on the map here.
As they say, pioneers take arrows, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of the arrow.
Ruth, I think it was about a month ago, maybe a little bit more, that you celebrated the big donation for the new arena. Just what can that do when that's finally up and running and you guys are playing in there? What can that do for your program as you move forward?
Well, it's just unbelievable. Our administration, Lee and Penny Anderson, and all these people that are investing in our student athletes to give them, a wonderful experience. And so we're just so excited about that. It's going to help elevate us just as far as, where we play, the atmosphere, the community. I mean, it's just wonderful. Recruiting is going to be a huge. We've already been talking to a lot of our recruits about, the opportunity with this. And so we're really excited about, this next step and, having our own place that we can kind of call home.
With all this said, how much is riding then on the young women, especially the underclassmen? They want to do well in this tournament, right? They want to make a name for themselves. Do you have to kind of, all right, let's also, look, you don't have to carry the load on your shoulders.
No, and this is postseason all the time, is, they don't have to be anything more, but they can't be anything less. And they just need to be themselves. The season has been a testimony to who they are and what they're about. And so as a coach, we always talk to them about is don't get caught up in the outcome. I have to. Just go out there and leave it on the floor, because the outcome will take care of itself if you play hard and you just are true to yourself. And I get to watch a lot of postseason when we go out recruiting and stuff, and that is always the saddest part for me, when I watch somebody compete that doubts themselves and then they go inward. And so we really do talk about postseason and just embrace it as an opportunity. Last year, if somebody told us that we get to be in the conference tournaments, you'd be like, yes. So go out with that mindset that we got to do this. We got to enjoy this and just be you.
Ruth, go back 40 years when you were a player here. And
Thank you.
I know you're thinking about, you were on that team that got to the NCAA tournament for the first time. And over time, what does that mean to you? And what do you remember that experience?
Yeah, no, I was a part of that first group. We were the first conference champions, and then we also got to have our first time in the NCAA, because before it was the NIT, and it was still evolving with that. And we hosted, and I remember what an incredible experience it was. And so now, as you say, to fast forward, and now here I'm the coach here, it's kind of surreal, and I'm just very grateful to St. Thomas, because I think we embody at St. Thomas all the things that are great about athletics. And we understand that the student athlete is the first and foremost. And so I'm just excited for my young ladies to get to experience postseason, individually, but also collectively as a team, as a testimony to what they've created.